changes to strata and community scheme laws, so the voting and the executing documents electronically. So we had some changes that started on the 30th of September this year, so, not only a few weeks ago now. These laws actually relate to electronic voting for meetings and using an electronic form of the seal when executing documents. So often people say, we've got to have the company, the seal of the owner's corporation on that. So it's actually about being able to do that electronically. So these new changes to the legislation have taken over from those temporary changes that we had during COVID-19 when we had, the lockdowns and meetings were all happening electronically anyway. And now, a lot of strata managers have taken that very enthusiastically and are continuing to do many of their meetings electronically, which is I think it's a huge bonus for strata managers, that you're not sitting in, people's homes or stairwells or car parks, at 7 o'clock in an evening when you should be at home with your own families. So that aside, if you can move to that. So those key changes are that strata and community land schemes can meet and vote in person or electronically, so long as that's all specified in the meeting notice, without the need for a prior resolution about doing that, whereas before during COVID it was. An exception applies for pre-meeting electronic voting, which still needs to be a prior resolution if you're going to go down that path as a strata manager. So if you're using electronic voting at a meeting, reasonable steps need to be taken to ensure eligible voters can participate in and vote at the time of the meeting. So people who don't have access or are not skilled at electronic medium in terms of attending or participating or voting in a meeting, you need to talk to the people about that prior, obviously. So get some updated procedures for nominating and electing strata and association community members and the office holders within that. And schemes can keep and use an electronic form of their seal for the execution of documents. So it's like putting an electronic signature onto a document, so it's there. So to transition to these new laws, which only came in a few weeks ago now, as I said before, a prior resolution is not required if a scheme arranged pre-meeting electronic voting for a matter prior to 30 September 22, and it was a meeting held on or after the 30th of September. So, probably worth a mention on the way through so people understand these changes to that as a strata manager. I always believe that when you explain something well and educate your clients, they come along for the ride so much more comfortably than if you just go, yep, this is what we're doing and move along. So, make them feel part of that process where you can, and the transition should be much smoother.